One, go.
Welcome to another edition of PowerPlay904. I am Vinny Milani, alongside my favorite people in the entire world, my favorite family in the entire world. We got Tasty Cakes, woo! And then we got the Tasty Cakes of all junior Tasty Cakes.
Hey.
That guy. He's that guy. So this is a very special edition of PowerPlay904. This is the round one playoff edition of podcast. You guys excited? You guys excited for playoff hockey? It's the best.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Like, is that a question?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's a pretty dumb question.
It's the best. It's the best time of year. It's it's the best time of year. We've got a lot to go over in this show. We're just going to go, it's going to be a simple show. We're just going to go over game by game, just the round one matchups. We're going to go over a few questions, who the X factors are, who's going to win it. It's going to be a good show. We're going to start off with the Western Conference. Now, I just want everyone to know that this is all random. I'm picking these games at random. No one knows which game I'm going to pick. So, I am going to start off with the Anaheim Ducks Calgary Flames matchup. And and TCJ is going to start because Connor looks rattled. So TCJ, I'm going to start off by asking you, what do you think Anaheim needs to do to win this series?
Okay. I think Anaheim... Oh, God. Okay. All right. So I think the best thing for Anaheim to do is I like their depth defensively, and I like their goaltending. If they can shut down, the Johnny Gaudreaus of Calgary and get a few past Brian Elliott, which I think they can do, they'll be fine. On the other hand, statistically, they're not as good as they were last year. And they still have, that reputation as a team that doesn't play well in the playoffs. Now, granted, that was under Bruce Boudreau, and, with Randy Carlyle, they won the Cup in 2007, but also the league is a whole lot different than it was 10 years ago. So that's where I have a few question marks about Anaheim, is that can this group get it done?
Now, who do you think Anaheim's going to lean on the most through this series? That they're going to look through for leadership. Who's going to carry the weight for Anaheim?
Well, after just having an awful series last year, I think it's going to be Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry. Both of those guys did not play well last year against the Predators, and that was really one of the main reasons why they got knocked out of the playoffs. And maybe they come back this year and feel like they have something to prove.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I remember watching last season's playoffs when that Anaheim-Nashville series was going on. They really looked to get Getzlaf and Perry as the guys. Do you think I'm going to ask you this, TCJ. Who gets the advantage in the goaltending? You like John Gibson better, or you like Brian Elliott?
That's a hard question.
That's why I asked it. They're both mediocre is the best way to put it, right?
I would say mediocre. They're both very capable goalies. I think that Brian Elliott has been very streaky this year. He started off very badly, but once the Flames caught fire, he was playing very well. And so it depends on what Brian Elliott we get. And at the same time, he played, I thought, pretty well in the playoffs last year, minus the Sharks series last year, but I don't really think that was all on him. So, and then John Gibson is also very good, so I think it's going to be very close between those two.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good series. Now I'm going to go to the Calgary side before we go into any predictions on the series. I'm going to go to the Calgary side. TC, who do you think needs to step up for Calgary to win the series? Who do you think they need to lean on?
Well, I think one of their bigger challenges is going to be. Well, I think Brian Elliott certainly is someone they've got to lean on to stop the Ducks. They've got the Ducks tend to lean on their two big stars, and I think if Brian Elliott can shut them down, they've got a good chance. But this is one of the series that I know the least about, and if you know anything about my track record, is that I know nothing about the West. So take this with a grain of salt.
2 grains of salt.
Yes. The other thing I think is important is that the other side, they have to get past John Gibson. And I think that's going to be a challenge for this Flames team. I think Johnny Gaudreau is going to be someone that can step up and fill that need.
You think this is Johnny Gaudreau's shining moment? You think this is where he steps up and really becomes the guy that Calgary wants him to be?
I think so. I don't see a whole lot of depth on the Anaheim defense. I don't think there aren't too many names that stand out on at least on the defensive side of Anaheim. That's not typically their strong suit. At least not from my perspective. Other people might give you different answers. So I think he's got a good chance. It's not like they're playing the Wild or some team that's their defense.
Yeah, these are both two teams that kind of didn't squeak necessarily into the playoffs, but the West wasn't as strong as it used to be, and they're one of those teams that have felt that effect of the not having a strong roster. Now I see this series being a very physical series. TCJ, would you agree with that? You think this is going to be a really hard physical series? Do you think it goes 7? What do you think?
Well, first of all, if it goes 7, Anaheim automatically loses because it's a game 7 at home. So, and that hasn't gone well for them the past 4 years. So,
True.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like everyone in the Western Conference hates Matthew Tkachuk, so therefore it's already going to be pretty chippy. And then, guys like Corey Perry, they're always willing to throw their weight around. So, yeah, I would definitely think that this is going to be a very chippy series. And, I think it's going to be chippy, and I think there is a possibility to go 7. I think these are two very good teams matched up against each other. So...
Yeah, and Randy Carlisle's team is going to be a physical team, just banging bodies all game. Now we're just going to end this real quick. We're not going to spend too much. We're going to try not to spend too much time on series. Just trying to go through them all real quick. TCJ, who you got? How many games?
I actually this is my upset pick. I have Calgary. And I'm debating between 6 and 7. I think I'm going to go 7, but I mean, Anaheim was in this position last year. First round wild card game, went 7 games and they lost. And I think this Calgary team is pretty good. So, and I think if they can get the right performance from Brian Elliott, they can get past the Ducks.
Yeah. So you think? So you didn't? I didn't give you the Calgary discussion, but you think Brian Elliott's going to be that MVP of that series, correct? Is that what I'm getting at here?
I mean, I think in order for the Flames to win, he's gonna have to do it.
Okay, I like it. TC, I know this still rattles you. The Western Conference is just going to rattle you all night. Who you got? Calgary, Anaheim.
I also like Calgary. Honestly, I'm sure that's not what Brendan wanted to hear because I'm sure he picked that as his upset special. But I think out of all the series, I think this is probably the one to look for an upset. And for all the reasons I mentioned earlier, I think they got the goalie to stave off the Ducks' top-heavy sort of offense. I think Johnny Gaudreau can really do something in the other end.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I'm on the side of Calgary taking this one. I don't think Anaheim is that good. I think they're one of the teams that, like I said before, just felt the effect of just not a good Western Conference, and they're just not playing that good. I don't think that they can make it past Calgary. I think Calgary takes this in 6, and it's going to be a very physical series. After this, Calgary is definitely going to be feeling the effects of this series, just because of the physical toll that it's going to take. But yeah, Calgary in 6. That's how I got it. Moving on. We'll stay in that bracket. The winner of that game will go on to face Edmonton or San Jose. This is TCJ's game here. This is TCJ's San Jose Sharks going up against the red-hot Edmonton Oilers. And what do you have to say, TCJ? What's going on with the Sharks? Tell me who you got being their star.
You can almost say the Oilers are burning.
Oh man.
Honestly, I don't know what to think of this matchup here.
Are you shitting me?
He's
the Shark. He's a resident Sharks fan. He doesn't know what to think of the series that they're in.
Because
you were
on one hand,
before. What?
On one hand, I think the Sharks are a deeper team, but they've got injuries to Joe Thornton and Logan Couture, who might not be 100% for the series. I doubt that they are 100% if they play.
What's their update?
Joe Thornton says he's still day-to-day. Both have been practicing. I think Couture definitely draws in for Game 1. I don't know about Thornton.
Now, I'm going to ask you this question. With Jumbo being at his age and going, what's his injury?
They haven't said. I suspect it's a knee injury.
Okay, yeah. So with the knee injury or any type of lower body injury, with Joe Thornton being of his age, do you think that this is going to really take its toll on him? You think he's going to show signs of this injury really affecting him when he comes back?
It depends on the severity. I think it's really only like a sprain. I think it's like a knee sprain.
So you don't think this is going to hinder his performance at all when he comes back?
I think if it was something as major as like a torn ACL or whatever, he wouldn't be skating.
Yeah, he would definitely be not playing.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So I think if he plays tomorrow night, or really just in the game in general, I think he's just going to be a fourth line guy, and I think he's going to draw in for the power play, and that's it.
Yeah.
It all depends on how he wakes up tomorrow.
Well, what do you think the Sharks need to do to beat Edmonton?
Limit the damage Connor McDavid can make. It's going to take a Herculean effort from Marc-Edouard Vlasic. They were able to lean on him last season during the postseason. I mean, you look at guys like Jeff Carter, Philip Forsberg, Vladimir Tarasenko. Those guys, those 3 guys in their series against the Sharks last postseason, those 3 guys were awful. They were all deep in the negatives. They might have had about, I think, 1 or 2 or 3 goals scored against, combined. Those 3 guys who were team leading scorers, some of the best players in the league, when matched against Marc-Edouard Vlasic and Justin Braun, just couldn't handle it. And it's going to take another one of those kind of efforts from the Sharks defense to shut down Connor McDavid. Do I think you can shut down Connor McDavid? I don't know. We haven't seen him in the playoffs before. But I think if you can limit the damage and try to get some better matchups against the other lines, I think that the Sharks might have an advantage there.
Yeah.
My concern with the Sharks is the goaltending as of late hasn't been good. Martin Jones has struggled going into the playoffs, and the defense just hasn't looked as good as it did last year. So there's that.
So the Sharks are going to lean on Vlasic more than Burns to shut down McDavid. Do you think that they're gonna have Vlasic do that so they can free up Burns to be able to be that goal scoring defenseman that he is?
Exactly. That's what they've been doing the past 2 seasons.
Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Okay, well, TC, what you got? What does Edmonton need to do to beat the San Jose Sharks?
Well, this series is going to be all about the Oilers' offense up against the Sharks' defense. It's going to be McDavid, Draisaitl, and Maroon against Burns and who's he paired with? I don't. Name escapes me.
Dylan?
Paul Martin.
Paul Martin.
Paul Martin.
Yeah, Burns and Paul Martin.
Paul Martin.
I feel like there was another Sharks defenseman, notable defenseman I'm missing.
No, that's it.
Dylan? Is that a thing? Is he real?
I mean, yeah, he's real, but he's a bottom pairing guy.
Well, okay. So the Oilers, they're gonna. Brendan mentioned shutting down McDavid, but it's not just about shutting down McDavid. It's about trying to shut down his line. That's what you got to mitigate with, because he has 70 assists on the season, and that doesn't you can put. He has the Sidney Crosby effect, where you can put just about anybody on his line, and he'll make them play better. So it's not just shutting down McDavid. You got to shut down Draisaitl and Maroon, who have played on the top line with him for most of the season, and. So that's going to be an issue for the Sharks. The other issue is Cam Talbot's played out of his mind lately.
Now, do you think? Now we've talked about this before about how many games Cam Talbot has played.
Yes.
Do you think that's going to affect him? Do you think it's either going to affect him in a bad way, or do you think he's just going to keep rolling on through the playoffs because he's just played so much, he just continues to roll? Or do you think it affects him and just it takes him out? He's tired. He's done.
Well, I have gone on record to say that you can ride a hot goaltender throughout the playoffs.
But can you ride a hot, tired goaltender?
That's the thing. Cam Talbot is 29 years old.
Ooh, look at this guy with stats.
Playing 73 games this season.
Ooh.
I think he can last 7 games. At least for this series, I think he can hold out. If they try to make a deep run, they might run into some issues, and they might have to go to their backup, which might run into some problems, particularly if they get far enough as to play the Blackhawks. This is a team that relies heavily on that top line. They're going to get bombarded when those bottom lines start coming up, and they have to bring up their backup goaltender because Cam Talbot has played by that time 80+ games over the course of the season.
Good point.
But I think throughout these first 7 games, I think they got it, particularly against the Sharks team, who is not young either. They already showed signs of being tired. And then it's not just their goalie; it's that entire team already looks tired. So I think if this series goes 7 or even 6, the Oilers have a good chance.
Yeah, it's not going to go well over with TCJ over here. Now I will ask you, TCJ, when do the Sharks knock out Edmonton? Because you obviously aren't going to pick Edmonton. When do they knock out Edmonton?
I got him in 6.
You got him in 6. TC, what do you got?
Edmonton in 7.
Ooh, I like it. I'm going Edmonton in 6. I posted that earlier this afternoon in our discussions. Edmonton in 6. I think, like you pointed out, Connor, that San Jose they're beaten up. They're old. They're beaten up. They're tired. Edmonton's just hot. They're fast. They're what the new NHL is going to be. It's that fast run and gun type of offense, and then they got Cam Talbot to lean on. I think Cam Talbot will still roll on, and they will roll through the Sharks in 6. Take it to the bank.
I think it's just going to be interesting to see the Sharks' experience matchup against the Oilers' youth. And I think it might be interesting to see if, I saw someone write about this, is that if the Sharks can split the first 2 games in Edmonton, and then the next 3 out of the 5 games are in San Jose, how a young Edmonton team reacts.
Yeah. And now I can't remember names off the top of my head. I think McClellan is the coach for Edmonton.
Yeah.
Returning to San Jose.
Yep.
That'll be an interesting storyline to follow. Is the little return out to San Jose. Now I need to break off into a different question that has been just racking it's been driving me nuts lately. I have to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
The big topic in sports today has been resting stars, resting athletes going into the playoffs, and just
No,
I'm not talking about resting. I'm not going into resting NHL players and things like that. I'm trying to go into the topic of teams going into the playoffs. They like to take it easy. They don't like to try that much, and they do rest some players. Do you guys think it's better to go into the playoffs well rested and on a losing streak, or you have all your players going 100% and you're winning? You know what I'm saying? You want a healthy a team at about 60% or maybe less, and they're riding a hot streak, or you want them at 110% and they're losing, like the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets are riding I think it's like an 8-game losing streak or a 6-game losing streak coming into the playoffs.
I think it's 6.
But they're rested. They're well rested. The Rangers are another team. They're well rested, but they're just coming in terrible. Which do you guys think? You well rested and awful, or tired and great?
I think there's enough evidence between not only the NHL but also the NFL with teams that get the bye week that you want to come in ready to go. You don't want to be rested. You want to have been playing and just keep going. You look at the Capitals last season. They took it easy going in because they had such a huge lead, and then they played the Flyers, which wasn't that challenging, and then they get steamrolled by the Penguins.
And that's another thing. The Penguins were a team that was coming in hot. They were winning games. They were rolling in hot. They weren't resting players. They were just rolling in, and then they won the cup. TCJ, what are your thoughts? What do you think this is better?
Gosh, all right. I think it just depends. This is kind of a cop-out answer, but I think it depends on your team.
Don't cop out on me. Don't do that.
I think it depends on the way your roster is built. If you have a bunch of older guys, like, say, the Sharks, maybe it does make sense to rest guys going down the stretch. But if you have a team full of young kids, like, say the Maple Leafs were in a comfortable playoff position, I would want them to keep playing.
Yeah, I think you do make a very good point. That is a really good point. That the teams that don't have that experience, just let them keep rolling, let them keep getting hot, and then have them ride that winning streak into the playoffs. I've just been listening to radios all day long and all week long talking about resting players and teams that are going into the playoffs hot and cold, this and that. And I really think that teams shouldn't be resting. I mean, maybe rest some of your big guns, like teams like the Penguins resting a guy like Crosby or something like that. But everyone else needs to just keep going and keep rolling. Like the Penguins, the other night, the Penguins were playing the Rangers. It was the last game of the season, and I understand that both teams had their third-string goalies in. Matt Murray didn't play, Marc-Andre Fleury didn't play, Henrik Lundqvist didn't play, and Andre Ronta didn't play. I don't understand that. At least get your backup goalie some time just in case. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, come on. It just doesn't make any sense, man. I would rather be a team coming in at around 40% and hot rather than 110% and awful. Because I think teams can ride the adrenaline of winning all the way through, like the Penguins did. They were just rolling, and no one was going to stop them, not even the Caps, who were the best team in the league at that time. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. I really wanted to bring that up and see what you guys had to say about that. But we'll go back into our Western Conference playoff predictions and what's going on. We'll move up the ladder. We'll go to the St. Louis Blues taking on the Minnesota Wild. Let me take a look and see what this is at. Who did I give St. I gave TC St. Louis, and I gave TC Minnesota. You gave Minnesota. Just say it. What did I give you?
You gave me St. Louis, but I'm going to argue that.
Okay, all right, there you go. That's fine. That's fine. We're work in progress. TCJ, what do you got? Are you ready? I will go with neither of
You
yours.
gave me Chicago and Minnesota.
Okay, so Minnesota. What does Minnesota need to do to beat St. Louis?
They need to, first of all, they need to get a witch doctor for Bruce Boudreau.
A witch doctor? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Wow, what a monster.
Well, I mean, he's got to do something to get the playoff demons out of him. So, there's that. But they need to find some way to revert back to the team that they were in December and January. And I think a lot of that goes back to Devin Dubnyk. I think that the Wild have a very good team, as evidenced by their standings position, but you talk about the Sharks being bad, the Wild have been just as bad.
Yeah, I can see that. I do agree. Now, I know TC may not be ready about the Blues yet, but I'm gonna chime in on the Blues. A lot of people are forgetting the fact that the Blues are one of the many teams in these playoffs that have went through a coaching change. They went through a huge coaching change in Ken Hitchcock getting the boot. Now Mike Yeo, the former Minnesota Wild head coach, taking the head coaching job for St. Louis.
That's how you win cups. The Penguins did it. I think a couple of times.
Mike Sullivan, that's another thing that we're going to touch up on. Mike Sullivan's going up against his former mentor, John Tortorella. But we'll catch up on that when we go to the East. We're going to roll through this stuff. St. Louis, though, and we're all forgetting, they lost a ton of guys this offseason, a ton of key players who have that experience in the playoffs. Shattenkirk, Backus, Oshie, Brouwer, Elliott. You're riding Jake Allen into the playoffs? I'm not so sure about that. Earlier this season, we thought Jake Allen was done. We thought Jake Allen, we were thinking, oh, he's not going to be able to take over the reins of the starting goaltending position in St. Louis. And now suddenly they're in the playoffs, and I just don't see them being. I think this is one of the quick series. I think this is a series that goes 4, maybe 5, and Minnesota takes care of business. I know that was a quick prediction. I want to hear what you have to say, though, TC, if you do have anything to say about St. Louis and what they need to do to overcome the odds and knock off the best team in the West.
Well, you mentioned Jake Allen. That's very valid. That he did struggle, but he turned it around. He broke through. He's got over 30 wins for the season, which is impressive. For the first time in his career, he's got over 30 wins. But you also got to look at Tarasenko, J.J. Schwartz, and David Perron. You know, all guys that can score. So I think they can probably do that. They've got a good chance at breaking down the Minnesota defense, which has been, strong. But the Blues, as I just found out, have limited their opponent's shots pretty severely this season. I don't have the exact stat up, but they are very good at suppressing shots. So I think their defense could probably hold up against the...
You just turned into the stat guy tonight, huh?
Well, I got it right in front of me.
So, TCJ... TC, do you have any more thoughts on this, on St. Louis?
St. Louis?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right, who wins it? How many games?
I've got the Wild in 5.
Wild in 5. Is there any reason? Let me hear your reasons real quick.
I just think that the Wild are a deeper team. I think that the Blues are kind of in an awkward semi-rebuild, I guess. I've gotten a weird vibe on the Blues the whole season. So, that's what I'm going to go with.
And TC, what do you got?
I got the Blues in 6.
Blues in 6, so... Okay, wait a second. The Blues in 6?
Yes.
Why? What?
Well, I don't know. Well, the Wild the Wild kind of it's mostly a gut reaction because I don't follow the Wolves very much, but it's the Wild don't have the playoff experience. The Blues have been in the playoffs, in previous seasons.
So you think it comes down to experience?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna test the old fire your coach gets to the Stanley Cup.
You're riding the hot, the fresh meat.
Yeah, the Wild leading the division for most of the season and then dropped. Yeah, they're not. I'm a big fan of the first few rounds. If you're not coming in winning, you might not. That might be how you leave. Is in the first round. I think the Blues might be able to get something there.
Well, I can tell you, you're one of the few that think that St. Louis is going to knock off the Wild. But you know what? We'll see what happens. Anything that happens in the NHL playoffs. We'll finish up this Western Conference talk with, I think, what's going to be the best game, the best series in the West for round one, and that's the Nashville Predators taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. You can look at it like that all you want. I know you're going to say San Jose and Edmonton's going to be a really good series. I think Chicago and Nashville is going to be the better series. I gave TCJ Chicago stink face because I think it's going to be a better series. What do you think Chicago needs to do to beat the Smashville hype train Nashville Predators?
I think Chicago needs to flex its offensive muscle because Nashville's big strength is its defense, and they don't have much of an offense. I mean, like, you have Philip Forsberg, but behind him, there's really not a whole lot. So
Ryan Johansson's nothing.
I mean, he's had a down year, but I mean, compare that to Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Marian Hossa. Like, it's a total mismatch.
I'll give it to you. So you think the Hawks offense is going to be too overpowering for Nashville?
Yes.
Now that brings me into a good question for you. This offseason we had that big Shea Weber for PK Subban trade. Shea Weber is obviously a defensive defenseman with a very hard shot, and PK is more of the offensive defenseman. In this series, you obviously would rather have Shea Weber to go up against that Chicago defense. Do you think that PK is going to be able to handle that pressure?
Yeah, absolutely. If anything, I don't know if I'd rather want Shea Weber.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you had this is going to be an analogy because I noticed this a lot last playoffs. But when you have, like, last season, the Sharks, Brent Burns went up against Shea Weber. Burns just simply outplayed him that series. And I think in the playoffs it helps having that playmaker, that offensive weapon on the blue line.
Yeah, I can see why you think that. I don't think PK is going to be able to handle it. To be honest with you, this is going to come as a surprise that I'm all aboard this Smashville hype train. I think there's going to be the Predators are going to lean a lot more on Rodiosi. Rodiosi is going to be the one who's going to be taking a lot of the shifts. He's going to lead the Predators in ice time, and he's going to be carrying the Predators to a 7-game series against the Hawks. Now I'm going to move over to my passenger, my seat buddy on the Smashville hype train.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. What does Nashville need to do to knock off the veteran Chicago Blackhawks?
Well, you might be right in saying that they don't have the defense to hold back Chicago's powerful offense. But what you forget is that they have firepower of their own. Victor Albertson had a breakout season, scoring 61 points. Arvidsson.
This guy, the stats.
And then they've also got Philip Forsberg. Mean scorer. You know? Ryan Johansson, you mentioned, can score 61 points this season. And their defenders, who you claim are their strength, also score goals. Subban, Roman Josi, Ryan Ellis all have at least half a point per game this season.
So, you think that the...
Half of their defensemen have half a point per game.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
And I almost forgot Pekka Rinne, while he's not the flashy goaltender, is very solid. Pardon?
He's better than Corey Crawford.
Better than Corey Crawford.
I was actually listening to a podcast today that was saying Corey Crawford's a better goaltender, and I turned it off right away. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with that
I think
nonsense.
Pekka Rinne is very underrated.
So,
Doesn't get a lot of spotlight.
TC, so what exactly do you think the Predators need to do? What do the Predators need to do to win?
If they're going to win, they need to fight fire with fire. They're going to have to win these games 6-7 if they have to.
Okay. I like it. So we'll wrap this one up. And TCJ, who you got winning? How many games?
I don't think it's gonna be an easy series for the Blackhawks by any means, but I have them in 6.
Other than the 6, okay. And I didn't give you the Hawks. What? I gave you the Hawks. All right, you got the Hawks in 6. What do you got, TC?
I think I got the Hawks in 6 as well. I don't mean the copy wins. They just have so much depth, and they're coming in super hot, which I think is very important, at least for this first round. I mean, Nashville's coming in hot too, but they just... Chicago's got this system down where they roll in with all 4 lines scoring. And I don't... As much firepower as the Predators have, I don't think they can keep up.
Yeah, it's tough. The Hawks are loaded. I mean, it's the same thing every year with Hawks. Is they're loaded up. Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Mary Hossa, like we were talking about earlier, TCJ. I mean, they're just loaded. Duncan Keith, they have so much experience. I can't see the Hawks not getting past the Predators. Just off of pure experience itself that the Hawks have under their belt. I do think if the Predators are going to stand a chance, they're going to have Pekka Rinne stand on his head in many of games. All of the games. I think it goes 7.
He's very capable of keep stealing a couple games for them, I think.
Exactly. That's why I think this series can go 7, and I think it's going to be the Hawks in 7. But I think Pekka Rinne is going to be the one reason why they go 7. I think he's going to be able to stand on his head all the way. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pekka Rinne stands on his head in Game 7 and steals that one. But we have now gone almost an hour on the Western Conference. We're going to end this part of our Western Conference discussion. We're going to jump over to the Eastern Conference on our next part. It's going to be on SoundCloud. You can check it out. Both parts, 1 and 2. East, West.
YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube.
YouTube is going to be on YouTube because we're all in the SoundCloud space. YouTube us. It's going to be on YouTube part 1 and part 2.
We need to get back to SoundCloud. We need all of our stuff in the same place.
Sponsorships. So we're going to end this podcast, or we're going to end this segment of the Western Conference. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out our Eastern Conference
But by the way, can I just mention that the NBC article on the Calgary series, not that was the one I was pulling from, on the Calgary series was Ducks Flames series heats up. Because of the Flames.
Oh, yeah.
The series is heating up.
Really? All right, on that note, thank you.
TC, you're on fire with these puns tonight. Yeah.
No, that wasn't me. That was NBC.
Killing it. On that note, thank you for listening to our Western Conference podcast. Don't forget to listen to our Eastern Conference podcast coming up next.